Hello everyone, today I'm gonna show you one of my favorite builds, if not my favorite so far. It is really fun to do, to play with it, at least for me, right? It's a tank build that also CCs without any kind of shield. Basically make enemies crazy on the battlefield, they can't do much, and when they have room to attack, you have enough armor to protect yourself. So it is super cool to watch, to do. It's a really different type of build. I hope you enjoy it, and there are so many ways to make a build like this, so I hope you can get some inspiration by watching this video. I really love playing with this. So let's see the build, right? We're gonna need around 3 blues so we can have some armor to survive because we are a bit tanky, right? We have unbreakable for that, so we can survive more than usual. Something extremely important here is the exotic holster with the creeping death. When you apply status effect, it also applies to all enemies within 8 meters of your target. So basically, we are gonna have this holster inflicting fire to a bunch of enemies because of the creeping death. This is extremely good for crowd control, right? So we need the 3 blues, and I also have some 3 yellows, because we need our skills to do something. They can't be trash, they need to be somewhat good. So what we basically do, we go closer to enemies to burn them, and then we can even use the firefly to blind a few of them. And then we have this beauty here. It does give some damage to the enemies, as you can see here, right? In case you don't know, you can send this and double tap for it to explode like this. Press it twice and it burns the enemy. It does give a good amount of damage, 160 damage. The fire burning does give some good damage to the enemies, 162 damage. Yeah, it's really high, right? So what I basically did here is, because I'm a tank, I don't need any red. I have this red here, but it's wrong because I don't have another piece. But I just place anything a tank would need. I have some explosive resistance just in case. Here has some hazard protection. Hazard protection here too. It's not bad because you are a tank. A bit of armor regen, but you don't need it. Some status effect is good, right, to make enemies blind for more time. I also have some skill haste because it's gonna make my skills come back faster, of course. And for the guns I use the Sweet Dreams because I instant kill non-elite enemies. It's for 15 seconds, right? Yeah, for 15 seconds it's extremely good. Also, shotgun is a bit crazy, right? Like, look at this. Let me place a guy here. I saw 100 damage without critical. I'm gonna place him 15 meters. It's still 100 damage. Now 20. 100 damage, like that one there. Now it's way lower, right? What's that range? Let me see. Yeah, it's 35, 25. Yeah, like even at 25, the damage is not bad, right? But it's hard to hit all the bullets there. So at maximum 20, you can still do some damage, as you can see here, right? But you won't do that many damage with this. You're gonna use it more for the melee attack. I have this SMG here that I never thought I would use, but the reason why I'm using it, it's because the accuracy and stability is high for SMG, and the damage drop too, but what mostly matters is that I'm gonna use this to get perpetuation, right? If I hit the head, and now I'm gonna increase by 50% the status effect damage and duration. It has a cooldown of 20 seconds. So this is used just for the perpetuation. I'm gonna mainly use the Sweet Dreams because it does more damage. That's why I have the Badger Tuff, because it gives me 10% shotgun damage, right? So I have 10% more damage for the Sweet Dreams. But you can change this any way you want. You can change the skills, right? I'm using Fire because of the holster, so I'm combining it with Firewall. What is so good about Firewall is that it is really good to rush enemies. That's why it was created. I have 20% burn duration. So yeah, when my armor break, enemies within 5 meters are gonna burn. When I change from cover to cover, I gain 30% bonus armor, which is also amazing. Anyone close to me is gonna receive 10% more damage by my teammates. So it's really good to rush, right? So what you're gonna basically do is to burn enemies with the holster and then throw the skills at them, kill them with the shotgun. The shotgun is really good. I have another build that I use the shotgun too. I'm gonna upload on the channel. Maybe by the time you watch this you have already seen the video, I don't know. But yeah, there's nothing that complicated about this. Just create a tank build and mix it with yellows. Gilaguard for total armor, but you can always change the things. Like you can place another golem gear so you can get 5% armor too. It doesn't matter. I really like the armor regeneration. Right now it is 22,000 armor regeneration only, but it's like 200 armor every 10 seconds, so it's pretty good. You even have like Unbreakable, like I said. So yeah, there's no mystery here. The mystery of this build is to know how to play it, to know when to go to cover. Also, when you know where enemies spawn, this turns into a beast because they can't move, they can't do anything other than burn and get blinded. So you're going to give a lot of support to your friends and you're gonna mess with the AI because you're gonna be close to them. Why don't you use a full yellow CC build? Well, because, like I said, I can rush the enemies and make them move like crazy. So when I'm with this build, my teammates have a lot of room to attack the enemies. Also, my damage is not bad, and the shotgun instant kills many enemies. So it is really fun to play. I have not tested this solo because I think it's not gonna work. Maybe it works, I don't know. Sorry. This was made for support to help your team. You don't need a full yellow build to fully support your teammates. You can still run with some armor so you can be a bit tanky. You can CC the enemies and stay close to them. Not everyone is gonna be blinded. Not everyone is gonna be burning. It doesn't matter how good your skill tier is. Some enemies can still be passing around you and not be affected by the status effect. It really depends on the mission. It really depends on the situation. Right? At many situations you can run full yellow and blind everyone and burn everyone. But in many other situations you can't, because there's enemies spawning from multiple directions. That's why I like this, because every time I throw this, enemies start rolling like crazy and running. They don't shoot that much. So this is really good for crowd control. Just placing enemies everywhere. You throw there, and enemies start rolling everywhere. You crowd control just by throwing this skill. Then you can use this one to save your friends more often, right? And just because you are in the front, like this, right? And you shoot the enemy and go back to cover. Just because of this, you also make the enemies focus on you instead of your friends. One other interesting thing is that because you rush the enemies, and if not everything goes well, and if some enemies can still shoot you, you're not gonna die that easily because you have some blue. I see a lot of people say, oh, but 3 blue is pretty trash. No, it's not. It's extremely good. It makes you survive a lot more, especially if you use the shield. But what makes me survive here is because I have the crowd control with me. If I run, like if I was full blue, right, without a shield of course, I wouldn't survive as much as with this build because I have the CC. So instead of me running with a shield, I'm running with crowd control. I'm being a tanker that does crowd control the enemies and don't need a shield. I wanted to create a tank that could also crowd control. However, when I use a shield here, I lose a lot of potential for crowd control. I just realized that I don't need a shield with this build. Yes, you're gonna die sometimes. It happens. Just like with any other build. But if you really play smart, you almost never die with this. I even used this on Black Tusk. I used the Fire and the Firefly on the Black Tusk, and I was still successful, not as successful with the other factions, but it was. Anyway, just change this any way you want. Just this talent is amazing for crowd control. You can use other pieces. You may not enjoy this shotgun, but I do love it. Just mess up with this idea because you can do many crazy things. One of the people from my clan, he has some crazy builds like this one, and whenever he is on the party, everything is 10 times easier. he just plays so well with these type of builds. So I saw his build and I said I'm gonna create my own build that is similar to his build, right? He even used a similar build to this one on a legendary mission, and they completed the mission in 40 minutes. Unfortunately, I was not on the party because I had to leave. They did, in 40 minutes, a build very similar to this. You rush everyone with crowd control. That's his build. But he has no blues here, he has more yellow, especially because the legendary is very different. I don't think this build here works on legendary. Need to test it, but on heroic it works extremely well. But anyway, that's the build. Always remember, you can always change everything here. You can use this idea here and create something for yourself, something that suits your playstyle.